Dime qué tú quieres, papi. ¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti? Mueve, mueve. ¿Te gusta cuando me muevo así? Así.
Thank you, God, for this day. We have lived everything in our life, our health, our family, the guidance you have given us, allow us guidance to the path of righteousness. Amen.
Really, I'ma get that bitch. Revenge is a dish best served cold. She took my son, now my soul is cold. He took my daddy, now my soul is old.
Yeah, man.
That's hot shit right there, man.
So what we gonna do? We gonna dub.
King Chaka ENT. Y'all can check out the music on Spotify, Apple, and other services. Doing what we do 3 to 4 nights a week. King Chaka ENT.
I got this.
From the
She
back
starts
seat.
shooting.
That dude was like, ow.
What was that?
Outside the car,
That nigga
deputies'
got
body
popped.
cameras capturing the bullets flying through the air.
We got shots fired
couldn't
up
have been
here.
a straight
We
shot.
need
It had
backup
to be-
immediately. Start
Are you-
EMS. Start EMS.
What
We got
the
a
fuck?
civilian. We got a civilian hit.
The deputy.
Looks like we got us another hit.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, an educated public cannot be controlled. Learn to be active. The views and events expressed here are totally whack and are not necessarily the views of anyone. Struggle for respect. It's a real struggle, right? It's the way I feel. I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders sometimes. I really do. Like, I feel like I'm fighting against the whole world, basically. It's like the struggle for respect is the name of the show today. And it's really, I came up with that title because I'm feeling frustrated. You know, it's like the image that people have of me is something I have to fight against. I have to fight against the prejudices that people have. I have to fight against the brainwashing of like how society is supposed to be, what image you're supposed to project as a person, like where you are on the hierarchy or the ladder. You know, some people don't even want to climb the ladder. Like some people don't want to do that, but the society looks at you like you're useless, you're trash, you're a loser as a result, you know? So I feel like it's so hard, it's so difficult to overcome, you know, the many obstacles for a black man, because I'm speaking for myself, to have respect, to really truly be respected. You know, you family members, even cousins, your children, your spouses. It's like the the world is telling them to disrespect the black man. That he's useless. He's not. You know, he's a criminal. He's a loser. You know, he's a womanizer. You know, he's not to be trusted. He lies. You know, but it's crazy because every day as I walk through my journey, I am fighting against these stereotypes. Like, I swear, and it hurts me really badly when it's like, you know, I try to be reliable is one of the main things I try to do. Like someone asked me to do something, and if I say I can do it, then I'm gonna do it. And it's like, and being on time with stuff like that, you know, uh, and I do that religiously. But then when somebody acts like I don't or whatever, they have this attitude or energy that they're projecting that that I'm gonna disappoint them or whatever, then it hurts. It hurts really bad because it's like, what else could I possibly do to get you to see that I'm not that? You're waiting for this disappointment. You're expecting this disappointment, you know, and it's no matter what I do, it's like that's hanging over me, That's just how I feel. I feel like the struggle for respect for the black man is very, very difficult. And we've been talking about Kyrie all week and how they are doing this guy, and I think that's it on display right there for this guy. And he's paid already. He's a star. He's a super athlete. So the regular Joe like me over here, if they could come at him like that and totally disrespect him, and uh, of course I'm gonna get it. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I think it's somewhat different because they own him. He has a contract that they own him, and they can handle him how they want as long as he's you know put himself there to he's not breaking the contract or anything. So he belongs to those people. So like they say, look, this is what we do when this happens. If this happens, you got to follow the rules, or you gonna get handled a certain way. But I think day to day, the average Joe, like you and myself, like if we you know play into the same mindset that supposedly other people have may have for us, like we're doing the harm to us, not them. Like it's really the way we perceive ourselves is what's way more important than what somebody else sees or thinks, because we are the God that projects what is out there. So I think sometimes we have to you know strengthen our mindset and our mental health so that we are projecting what we want to see for ourselves, and then what other people see will be more likely closer to what we are projecting. It's not, what I'm saying, like,
Yeah, but my argument is that it seems like it doesn't even matter what I'm projecting, because they still continue to hold this view, like I say, the anticipation of disappointment, you know it's just like in the air.
well, let their mindset be screwed up. Don't let your own be screwed up. That's the thing, because if you allow what other people start to think or imagine, their imagination may run off, and they'll start to assume that you're gonna be this way. Like I'm so much of a effort person. Like, look, I don't care what people think, because I mean, I know me, and I love me, and like, not that I'm always just satisfied with where I am, because I'm a grower. I'm a somebody. I still have expectations for myself, but I don't necessarily you know really care what other people may have to add about who I am or what they think I am, because they probably don't think much of themselves, because that's what they if that's how they see other people, usually that's kind of the same kind of way that they see themselves. So I don't care about that. And I try to promote others to somewhat do the same, because, like, I'm not saying that you have to be totally satisfied with who you are. I mean, where you are, because one of the biggest things, instead of like somebody's asking like how you doing, is like, you know, like it's really like really my position of who I am and how am I doing.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
try,
matters most.
and you know, I try to have ethics and integrity and stand on my truth and all of those things that like they teach you in the books or the righteous people or whatever, you know, the you know, but still I feel like it doesn't even matter. It feels like, you know, because the way society is, like they expect you to suck. It's like you don't, and then it's like they have like an envy towards you, like a hate for you, because it's like you're not special. You think you're better, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's what they think. It's like
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah, I do.
I think I'm better than them or something like that, but that's not what it is.
Well,
It's
I feel what you're saying because I mean, to some extent, you might have to have that attitude. But you know, one of the concerns I'm hearing from like the actual terminology you're using is trying to have integrity, because you know you have to be. To me, I feel you have to be more. Look, I am integrity. I display it without a doubt. You know, things happen in this world and I can't, you know, make up for every little thing. But, you know, my effort, my intent, what I actually you know, what I'm displaying is integrity. You know, whether, you know what I'm saying, something happened and, you know, it doesn't prove this time, it's not going to prove to be that all the time. But if there's anybody that's close enough to you to make you feel that that's like what you're doing and saying is not on point, because I mean a stranger I could give a hell less, but if it's somebody that's in your circle, you probably need to drop them out of your circle. Like they don't deserve to be there, because you know if they don't know you just as well, or you know like they don't know your heart. You know they're not worthy really to be in your circle.
yeah. Yeah, so what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about the struggle for respect? Um Specifically for black men, because you guys are black men.
Well, I don't struggle for it. That's the thing. Like I you know I get my respect, and you know if somebody, you know, somebody tried to if they did try to step on my, you know, try to disrespect me, I'm gonna let them know right then and there, like that don't happen. You know, like it's just I'm not allowing it. So that's just, I mean, I think sometimes I think that sometimes you know, really earn respect. No, you like I give respect, you give respect back. If you choose to disrespect, then guess what? I'm about to disrespect your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's really as simple as that. Like I don't owe nobody nothing. And if I come with respect towards you, you know, my expectation is that I'm getting it back. And if you try to, you know, treat me less than, you about to get checked on it. You might be like, oh, I don't mean it, but you know, all right, maybe we can move on from there. But depending on what it is, I mean, shoot, you might be getting slapped up and down.
Yeah. But what about, because you're speaking on it from like the perspective of a personal level. So, but what about on like a societal level or institutional level? You know?
Well, see, I don't even think that is that. Like, I mean, the people, because like the stuff that's going on really with with Kyrie, Kanye, all these different things that we're seeing, that's really praise. Like they're angry, like they're jealous of who we are. Like that's not. I mean, for them not go out of their way to try to, you know, make them do this ritual of apologizing is because they see themselves as less than. Like, you know, because of their position that they're losing and it's slowly dwindling. were consistently dwindling out of their hands is that because they still have some power, or them trying to test to see if they still have the power, shows that they're weak. That's the way I see it. I don't think that they did anything special because, like, all right, you're a billionaire, and these millionaires that work for the establishments that you have, or your friendships that you have with these other people, and you try to use that against them. That's some pussy. That's some fake ass shit. That don't show like that to me. That's not integrity. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to, especially with the Kyrie stuff, like it's like you're mad with this dude because he's smart enough to read and to learn things, to know thyself. Like that's one thing that we were not supposed to do, was to, be on the search for thyself, to know thyself. And because he has, and he's, like maybe even passing it on to his other family members, people who may not know it, and you're just trying to share knowledge. That's more so what they're angry with, because it's showing that they're not who they say they are. That's like, that's the big problem right there, is that with him recognizing his strength and his power weakens them.
So this, let me read this right here. It says, sources, Nets have delivered Kyrie Irving 6 items he must complete to return to team. Apologize, condemn movie, $500K donation to anti-hate causes, sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training, meet with ADL Jewish leaders, meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate understanding. That's the list of things that he must do to come back after the 5 games.
Look, I don't know that man. I mean, I would assume that he's been in the league for a while. I don't really know his finances, but I don't know if I would go that far. I don't know if I would care that much.
Like you saying, walk away from the game of basketball. You love the game of basketball, though. You loved it.
I love the game of basketball, but guess what? I know a bunch of basketball players, and when I'm ready to play it, y'all come on over to the crib. We can play. We can do whatever for me to get my. I mean, because I know. I mean, being in the NBA is mostly about the money, and I mean, this money that we praising really ain't worth a whole bunch. It ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can look at it. If you look at the economy, it ain't worth a damn.
Telling you, with this
worldwide.
inflation. Yeah.
So I mean, like you're really putting your integrity on the line to kiss up to somebody who's, especially in my opinion, that's lesser than you. Because I mean, you feel like you got to go out of the way to make this man do this and do that and whatever. It's like, look, I mean, you're not even like you're not even being fair about what your anti-Semitic, your accusations, because everybody that's involved, him, the person who had it for sale for him to be able to share, and the people who made it, all of them didn't need to get a call. And I mean, are they all doing that? No. Like, this is somebody, because I mean, like I said, I think there's other reasons why they're picking on him, because like everything that they had fought for, like they try to make him
Back down, submit, bend the knee, kiss the ring.
Like, I mean, because that was the whole thing. He didn't bend the knee when it was time for the injections, and he wasn't bending the knee when it came to this little movie, which is like, look, y'all move on. So that's really where they have the problem, is like, Jesus is like, put me on the cross. You know what I'm saying? Look, this is how I stand. My Father says this, and this is what I stand for. That's that. At some point, you got to realize this flesh is only flesh.
Telling you, man. and that money is just fucking paper. Let me
Yeah.
read some comments. It says, "Where are the influential black people? Why the fuck is everybody so damn quiet?"
No, they're not being quiet because the influential black people are talking shit about him because they don't. I mean, they praising the paper and the, you know, the balls of the white man.
Mm. Another comment says, "Requiring him to donate 500K of his own money to play is extortion." Another comment, it says, "Why police officers are never met with these types of demands when they get trigger happy, I mean scared, and shoot unarmed black men. Oh, I forgot. That's not an outrage."
Well, because a lot of what you're saying, the plan to get rid of the kings on this soil is one of the things that they've been working together on. I mean, the Democratic Party started through KKK. Like all of the control of people's minds that's really that's against you know the most of the bad, because I mean I'm not gonna say that it's 1,000% bad, but you got to think about these people have been holding on to this agenda. Like even if you just really put pieces together, because like even when Clinton was in office, her foundation never released any of that money to help Haiti because of what happened in Haiti in the 1800s. Like, her hatred for Haiti is still based on, previous crimes. They hadn't done nothing but try to live and have their own,
Yeah.
since then. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they have a hatred for, you know, it's their problem. It's their racism that's making things a big problem because most if you're honest with yourself, because I mean that's the thing, they're living a lie, and the only way to continue with that lie is to do the shit that they're doing right now.
Mm. Let me read one more comment from this. It says, "Black people really need to effectively boycott a lot of these companies. Good will always win in the end. These companies have a lot of bad karma headed their way."
Yeah, and you see and that's one of the biggest problems because we have not in mass been trained to express integrity. Like the things that really matter to us or that can make a change for us. Because I mean, we easily jump on things that's not good for us for whatever reason, but when things that are actually good for us, we argue about it. I don't. I can never understand that. So, but that's kind of what it is, and there's gonna be the majority that's gonna continue to kiss the ass of the person who's been putting their foot in yours.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Um, it says that was New York Times. Hold on, damn it, I can't go back. Freaking, hold on, I gotta go back to that. New York Times. Freaking Kyrie Irving. Hold on, I want to read the headline properly. I don't want to say it wrong. Hold on. No, Washington Post. Washington Post. We need to go to this. Oh shit. Oh shit. It's not letting me. It says delusional, defiant. Kyrie Irving is a stain the NBA could no longer ignore. Perspective by Jerry Brewer. And that's a black guy. November 4th, 2022. Washington Post. The killer about that is freaking Jeff. Who owns the Washington Post?
I'm sure some Jewish dude,
It's
some,
Jeff Bezos. It's
oh
Bezos.
oh really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is he Jewish?
Nah, he's not Jewish, but
I didn't think he was, but I mean the whole idea is that they can all like they can present, they can cause the problem, make the like they're making money off of what they have called a problem, and then like he never has to do anything. Like he doesn't have to take it off of his site because it's like, hey, we just making money off of this, and well, ha ha ha. They laugh and play. It's like, but we can definitely, you know, make him the enemy, number one enemy for the next couple of weeks because he's an uppity nigga. He don't, what I'm saying. It's just, it's really sad, bro. And I really feel like at some point, and I mean, it would, because it wouldn't really make a whole lot of difference that, if, him doing it, leaving by himself, because I mean, it really should be a whole mob of, not just from the Nets, but like all over the NBA where people are just like, fuck it. Like shit. Got enough money to live on. I got me a farm already. I mean, one of the craziest dudes, like I like talking about him having a farm. Like Dwight Howard was talking about him having getting a farm and starting to grow his own shit because he knew like the way this world is going, like that's what he need. That's where he need to be. And a lot of people don't look at him as being like the smartest dude, but he's smarter than a lot of them, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only NBA player. I mean, I'm sure there's others, but I mean, there's people over time that has gone through the NBA and they've just been, you know what? I can go to they can go to other countries. They can go make money in other countries if it really came down to it, so that they don't have to be less than a man right here. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you got to figure out a way to stop being exploited at every turn, being able to be used as a kicking a punching bag or what. It's just it's really kind of hurtful to see, bro. It's insane. It's crazy. Like I like money. I like money just like the rest of them. But at some point, I'm not gonna allow somebody to treat me like shit to get their money when I know I'm blessed. I've already been. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm ordained to be in good shape, in a good place monetarily. Like me being a part of their, this, their business is what makes them, is why they are able to prosper the way they are. You know what I'm saying? Like his value is higher than theirs. They're just in a position where they can, capitalize faster and bigger.
Let me play LeBron's comments on. He said he caused some harm. He caused some harm with a lot of people. I wonder what kind of harm? How? Who?
To any kind, to any race, to Jewish communities, to Black communities, to Asian communities. You guys know where I stand. And
I can't really hear
part of the
him.
reason why I didn't air the shop episode, why we, out of the archives, because it was hate conversations.
I don't have a volume for this one.
And I don't represent that. Like, there's no place in the world for it. Nobody can benefit from that. And I believe, what Kyrie did caused some harm to a lot of people. I don't condone any hate to any kind, to any race.
He said he don't condone any hate for any race. Let me see this one. Maybe it's louder.
He has since over the last.
How? But
yesterday, he apologized. He caused some harm, and
I mean,
But
is it
y'all,
really?
y'all gotta understand that people like LeBron and all them, they bought, bro. Just
Oh
like,
yeah.
just like they made Nick Cannon denounce and disown any dealings with Minister Farrakhan, and how they made him apologize. You remember They stripped that Wild 'N Out show from him. They stripped all of his jobs from him after he apologized and sat down with that Jewish rabbi and denounced Farrakhan. Guess what? Wild 'N Out is back on. Guess what? He in the media. He doing this. He doing that. His net worth has went through the roof all over again. Like, bro, these dudes, they get that money and they get to that level. They don't want to go back down. They don't want to. They don't want to go back down to being normal, average people. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? So
but no matter how much,
sell out.
no
They
matter how
sell out
much
though.
money, look, but no matter how much money you got, you are just a normal, everyday person. Just because you're,
In their eyes,
uh,
they not. In their
uh,
eyes, Pat, from
I,
their point of view, they're not because
I,
they got more than you. They don't
I
have
know.
to make life decisions. They don't have to. They don't have to walk the same aisles of you as you.
Yeah, but
You
they
know,
walk,
in the
but they gotta
grocery
walk
stores and
around. Look, they gotta walk around. What's the dude? That shit. What the big swole Terry Crews? I mean, that you know what I'm saying. You gotta walk around with the Terry Crews thing. Somebody, smack you on your ass or grab your balls whenever they feel like it. That I mean, you know what I'm
Look,
saying? Like what?
yeah, I'm just laughing at. I mean, like that's a
Uh,
fucked up situation. When if you in that situation where you got somebody that you have to submit to, and they totally abusing you like that.
But I mean, but if that stuff is happening, just like if that's the stuff that we hear about. Like shit, we talking about bending the knee. Shit, I don't think it's just it is in praise. They had to juggle some balls on their chin.
Let me play this, y'all.
Are personally anti-Semitic. You've many of the things that I've read about you, and you've made a mention a couple of times about the Jews and everything, and I'm wondering if you are personally anti-Semitic. No. How can I be anti-Semitic?
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
When the Arabs are half the Muslim world is Semitic. If I was anti-Semitic, I'd be anti-Arab and anti-everything else. No, I think that in this country, there's one mistake that the Jews make. They put themselves in a position where whenever anybody gives an objective analysis of the role that they play, they defend themselves by accusing you of being anti-Semitic. And a Negro is not anti-Semitic when he says that the man who's exploiting him in his community is white, because it is a white man who owns all the stores. Now, is it an accident that these whites who own these stores are Jewish? If it's an accident, then the fact that he says the Jew on the corner is exploiting me isn't an anti-Semitic statement. It's just more descriptive of the man who's exploiting him. Anti-Semitic. You've many of the things that I've read about you, and you've made a mention a couple of times.
What y'all think?
See, it's just proof that this is not a new tactic. This is something that they've been practicing for decades, and like people are still falling for the banana in the tailpipe, and like nobody has really like called them out. Like I mean, he's telling them, to some extent, but at some point, I mean, I really don't know. Like I mean, I'm not in the position of these people like this. My I guess my attraction that I pull does not bring me into circles with people like this. Like I do business with all kind of people all the time, and like I don't get confronted with this bullshit. So like I don't know, I guess I kind of see it a different way that I don't know. I mean, I obviously this thing exists, but I think playing into it and continuing to do these same things, because there's nothing on this planet that moves without us. And when we don't realize that for ourselves, that shows how much we don't know ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I hear like I've been hearing like I don't really know the whole thing about the Kyrie thing. I've been kind of having a lot of other shit going on, so I've been out of pocket on a lot of shit. Um, but I have heard people saying, "Oh, these sellout ass celebrities should come to the rescue of Kanye West and Kyrie Irving, and they should have been backing him up and this and that." Say, bro, you think about it. These dudes aren't rich because of celebrity. These dudes are rich because of the people who believe in them, the people that like their music, the normal, everyday, average Joe Blows. Those are the people that are gonna have to rescue them and take a stand in order for shit to change, because these sellout ass celebrities are not gonna do it, bro. You're not gonna have Jay-Z and Beyonce backing these motherfuckers. You're not gonna have any of these rappers that's getting a few $1 million, any of these ball players. LeBron basically sold his life to Nike for a company that don't affect no change in no community whatsoever.
So
You know,
pretty much
so
what you're
it's
saying.
like, yeah,
So
what
pretty
I'm
much
saying is average Joe people like you, myself,
that's what I'm
Chocolate,
saying. They
like
waiting on us to save them.
that's pretty much who's gonna have to save them and back up, because we are the people that are awakening. You gotta think, bro, these celebrities, they woke, they know what the fuck going on, but they can't speak. They can't speak. They speak and they're done. They lose everything. So they're not gonna speak, bro. That just goes to show you that at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about you as an everyday person that support them. That's wearing the number 23 LeBron jersey, that's wearing your son wearing his shoes. He don't give a fuck about you or your son when it comes down to it. So let's be real. You know what I'm saying? But for people like Kanye West and Kyrie Irving to step up, and not apologize and lose money, like it's gonna take normal people like ourselves to back them. But the sad part is, normal people
But
like I said, we so well, I ain't gonna
but
say
it's
we, but a lot
but
of
it
us are
is
so brainwashed
but it
that
is us that's backing them up. I mean, what you know what I'm saying? Like, are we? Can we look? Because if I could go into one of the circles, I would definitely like I would speak up and say something. But like I'm not in their circle. How does the average person get in there and really change it for them? Because
man,
honestly,
but you gotta, but I feel like the way, I mean, I'm just saying from my point of view, hearing you speak, I think you need to look at more of the Kanye West interviews or just listen to him. This dude is reaching out to us. He's begging for us as the people to back him. He
but
realizes that nobody within his circle, everybody within his circle has wrote him off. And he's asking us, like the dude is begging for his black people out here in the community to
yeah,
back
because
him.
he's gonna come back with. See, that's the thing. I don't think that because see all the shit that they saying about Kanye, he is not broke. Like I mean, like he is
Nah,
still
he ain't broke.
he's still a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like they talking about him losing 1.5 or however much money. Like he's still a billionaire even with losing those current contracts. He when he was having the conversation with Forbes like 2 years ago when they only said that he was worth 6, and he said, well shoot, they didn't even get that part right because it's actually closer to 9. So he 8 point something billion. If he says like closer to 9, so that means he is like 8 point something billion 2 years ago. And so I mean, all these things that they just automatically are just trying to say about him now is just to try to like they're trying to piss him off. They're trying to make other people who believe the shit who don't know how to do simple math, um, you know, like oh yeah he broke and I mean
They're trying to make
it's
him look crazy because that's the normal. That's what people automatically go to. Oh, Kanye crazy. He ain't been right since his mama died. Say,
yeah,
bro,
and that's bullshit to me.
that's bullshit. Anybody that speak up, but anybody, you think about the conversations that we have here on this podcast. You had that shit with average, uneducated motherfuckers. They gonna say you crazy. Man, that motherfucker crazy, man. He don't know what the
well,
fuck he
well
talking about.
well
Them white
see, and
folks gonna
that's
hang his ass.
see look, that's the problem. That's the problem I
I'm gonna
had with
call him right now. Shit.
look, that's the problem I had with Tariq Nasheed, is because anybody that takes up for him, he's trying to make them feel bad. Like you can tell he's been paid off. Like and people been saying for a while he's an agent, you know. So I mean, on the low, we really gotta be careful because I think today he had the thing in D.C., but it's like people who really try to make you feel like you're stupid for, you know, wanting to have his back is like, you know, to me it's just like, why does it matter, you know, if we do or if we, you know, or even if we don't, like why are you going out of your way taking, you know, an hour episode or 2 hour show that you have to try to, you know, make people that's your listeners feel bad about, you know, trying to, you know, you supporting Kanye. Like I don't understand it. So I mean, it's way more to it than what meets the eye. So I mean, for people who listen to him, like a lot of them, I'm sure didn't say nothing, but um, it's just a lot of people like they're paid to do what they do, and just like, you know, or either or been threatened because like you said, like with LeBron, I mean a lot of these people are, you know, if they do know about themselves, they're not really exercising it, you know what I'm
It's
saying,
not
like,
worth it. There's no benefit to them, you
well,
know.
there's no, yeah, no, I mean, because being, you know, but no, they've already accepted that they're gonna be the hoes of the industry.
And it's no benefit for them to reveal these information and thoughts and
No, no,
like
no, 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 it's not about the benefit. It's more about look, they have chosen that look, they will bend the knee, they like, they're gonna, you know, like they give the whole thing about their family and this that. No, they are who they are. Like the some of the reasons why that they become
made it to where they are is because of that.
is because they ain't shit to begin with. Like, as far as, you know, like they don't have no, like they was willing to sell themselves out from the beginning.
Yeah.
It might have been a big number they sold out for, but like selling out is selling out.
Yeah. Let me play this, y'all. Check it.
Yes, they tried to censor the truth.
Do white lives matter?
White lives? It's a bit of a tricky question.
No, not in the slightest.
Yes, they tried to censor the truth.
No. Why not?
Black Lives Matter.
I really don't give a fuck about white lives.
If we're gonna get really political, I don't want to go there.
All lives matter. It should.
No.
Dude, you can just say anything about white people now and you will get in trouble for nothing. I mean, the most racist thoughts you have in your mind, just direct them towards white people and everybody will be fine with it. You say this about black people and you're censored, banned, deplatformed, your livelihood's taken away, you're fired, but say it about white people and it's fair game.
Do white lives matter?
White lives?
What do y'all think?
Trick question, huh? Of course they do. But I think that there's some misconception and there's some exceptions in some cases, because I mean, if you really look at, you know, if you're man enough or woman enough to really look at statistics, I mean, they're, you know, they get.
We're on this anti-white racism kick in the United States. It's really strange to me because it's like they're saying that it's like white men are the most oppressed demographic. That's what they're saying.
But I mean, but that's based on actual statistics. It's not just something that's beefed up by the media where it's showing that, like, okay, black men are the main people that's getting killed by police, when really it's white men that's really getting killed mostly by police. But because they can control the narrative and they make more money off of that than you know, off of black hurt than they do off of white hurt, is why they put it in the news. Like, I mean, it's really a lot to it that, you know, just it's really a whole lot more to it than people really realize. But you know, it just is what it is. I mean, me being a black man saying that, I'm probably the biggest asshole. But I mean, if we're gonna be fair as human beings, as all of us being human beings, that statistics, the statistics are real.
Well,
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
just think about how many. Just think about how many unarmed black men got killed by police
I'm gonna come
under
right back, y'all.
under Bush. Just think about how many unarmed black men got killed under Clinton. Okay, they wasn't. Democrat Party wasn't losing at that time. They're losing. They're losing the ground underneath them, the foundation underneath them. So that shit started when they put Obama in office. That shit started. You know, it's the same. To me, it's the same fucking tactics that they have always used. Make it seem like they love the minorities, when in all actuality, they hate you, but they need you. They need you to keep accepting their government assistance. They need you to keep accepting all of this money that ain't free, and voting and keeping them in office in your local government office, and in government, in the Senate. You know, it's all a fucking brainwashing, bro. It's all a brainwashing because dog, black men been getting killed on the streets by police. Fuck, before you and I ever fucking existed.
I'm
And
saying.
now all of a sudden, and you know, Obama gets in office. Now it's a big deal. Like, bro, it's a plot. It's all a fucking plot. But people are too fucking dumb to realize. Like, this shit been going on. The
Yeah.
only difference is now they're able to film that shit and upload it right away to YouTube or whatever else, you know, social media outlet that allows them to post that video. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? And then if you notice, Facebook don't get rid of those videos of the black man being slain by a
I'm
cop.
telling you.
They don't get rid. They promote that shit. They want to engrave that shit in your head like they're, you know. We all know that there's an injustice
That's
against
why I don't
blacks.
watch those videos. I do not watch those videos.
We all know that there's an injustice against blacks, you know, in America and probably around the world. But the narrative that they're driving home is not true. It's not factual. It's a plot,
And
and it takes people off of what's truly going on. And
I'm
people
telling
are
you.
so fucking dumb that they don't see through the bullshit, bro.
And I have to say that the anti-white racism thing is bullshit. I have to call bullshit on that, you know, because the thing is, it's like they are privileged as fuck. And I mean, maybe they don't see it, but it is what it is. It's like when you walk around, when you go into a restaurant and it's playing the music that you listen to, and then you go into another place and it plays the music that you listen to. You go to another place and it plays the music that you listen to. Do you realize that that's like, because that's catering to you? There's a whole bunch of other people around, but it's playing the music that you like.
Every truck stop, bro. I've been driving a truck since 2007 full time, and ever since I've been out here, every truck stop, even the truck stops that are in the black community, when you walk in them bitches, they playing country music. Country music. They're not playing R&B. They're not playing blues. They're not playing, you know, old school shit like that. You know, they're playing country music. You don't hear hip hop going. Every now and again, you may pull up to a truck stop overnight that they're playing. They may be playing R&B or rap music in there, but that's because it's all people that are like-minded on that shift at night. But you better believe before the morning shift come in, that shit turns back to country before the
And it's-
managers get there. You know,
and it's pretty much like that everywhere, you know. And it's like not specifically country music, but always, you know, friendly to a certain demographic. And that's just one little bitty detail of the picture. Like, that's just one little bitty example of it. But they don't see that.
Where do y'all go? Because I mean, you know what? I maybe I support more people that's closer to what you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I go to restaurants. Shit.
I know you
I'll
go
be
to
here.
Loves and Pilots and shit. You go, especially if you go into a Loves, all you gonna hear majority of the time.
If I go,
music,
if I go
bro.
to a Mexican restaurant, it's
well, that's different.
I go to
We're talking about your
black
big chain.
restaurants. It's usually some R&B or something playing. Or, like
But that's at those kind of places. We're talking about like if you think about it, if you're walking through a shopping mall and you just so happen to go into Dillard's or you go into Macy's, they're not playing no R&B in there. You know what I'm saying? Or you go or let's just say you go
and nor do
into
I
Chick-fil-A.
expect it to, because I mean,
You know.
bro, I think we might be asking for a little bit too much, because I mean,
No.
first,
I wasn't asking about. I don't really care.
I just
but
think
I'm
it's
just
an
saying what
example. It's an
Chaka was giving an
example. It's an
example
example
what
of the system, like as far as like white man's land, like for real. Like,
but
and
I
that's
mean,
how
what music is not ours? Like, what did we not create?
we created it
I'll wait.
all.
I'll
But
wait. I'll wait. I'll wait.
we created it all because all music, pretty much all the music derives off of what black people have created. Like country, it derives off of it's like white man blues, you know,
but
or their
the
R&B.
point
But
the
the
point
point
is
that he
creating
was
an
making,
atmosphere that caters to a certain demographic, a total
yeah,
atmosphere where everything that's related to everything is catering to them.
yeah.
And that's what it do. The fashion, the clothes. That's the reason why girls with curves can't find clothes that fit them. They got to go online and find some people who make clothes, because all of the mainstream clothes is not made for them. Their body shapes. The
Well,
makeup, the band-aids, you know.
I understand. I
50
understand the argument. I understand the argument, but like that should inspire some of these girls to be like, you know what? I know how to. I know what cool is. I can create my own shit that's gonna fit. You know, thing. Because I mean, somebody.
Rihanna got rich off of that dark color. Those dark colors. Nobody was giving it. So she cornered the market on that shit.
Yeah,
You know?
and which I think is she's a billionaire now because she did that, and I think that we got to stop being like so, you know, like what other people not doing for us or haven't done for us that we can do for ourselves. Like, I mean, bro, that's one of our really biggest problems is that we're still trying to be inclusive in a demographic that has set the stage for themselves, and we just like, well, they ain't make none for us, and like we really just gotta be like, you know what, like my shit gonna be way cooler than they shit, and just make our own.
I
Like
think that's what happened with Kanye, bro. I think he realized his talent and how he was being used, and how the people that he want to truly help were not benefiting from anything that he was making, and I think that's why he's where he is, you know. And we got a lot of creative geniuses in our communities that can make clothes that fit our women, that fit our men, that fit our bodies and things.
But then they go work for Chanel or whatever it is, Louis Vuitton, one of those big brands,
but at the end of the
make
day,
they shit.
But at the end of the day, it's like I heard the interview with Lil Kiki from Houston, right? Like he said, after the SUC clique died off, there was nobody on the south side that was doing anything. So he had to go to the north side and sign with Swishahouse. People were mad at him, but like he said, y'all didn't create an avenue for me to continue to produce music. So I had to go where it was popping at. I had to go where they had a platform for me to continue to put my music out. So it's the same way in these communities. These folks, like, they get tired of throwing their ideas out there, and our own people not biting on the shit, and our people that have the money that can push them forward and help them to get started are not sewing into there. So they go to these big brands that's like, okay, well, you come over here and guess what? We're going to take 51% of your business. We'll give you 48% or 49%, you know, but you're going to make millions, and we're going to give you all of the resources, and we're going to push your brand out there. And I tell you, you're going to be a billionaire overnight. And they go for it, bro. So at the end of the day, yeah, we can be pissed off and mad, but we have to truly be mad at ourselves because the ones that have the money don't come back to the communities. They don't sow into their own people, bro. They go spend money elsewhere, you know, because all they're thinking about is getting richer. You know, they're looking at putting their money into something that's already going to double or triple their money. You know, so we have to look at it on those levels and think like, why did this person who creates the clothes for us go here? Well, nobody around us was doing. Nobody around them saw their vision, or the ones that
or
did see their vision.
had the money, because see
Want,
that's another thing. And it's all, I think it's also like a lot of stuff that I'm seeing with you know, especially with Kanye, because I think it's a bunch of people in the, you know, that's come out of Hollywood or in the entertainment field that is just straight up really just jealous of him. You know, they got this kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not really sticking with him, not because of the power thing. It's just that, like, yeah, like, shoot, he's stealing my shine, or he, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's just like a bunch of hater shit.
Yeah.
To me. And, you know, like they happy to see them, you know, doing something with him because now, you know, he's a problem or something.
Let me play Candace Owens. Check this out.
This is a man, masculinity. I really do believe that modern feminism encourages male absence. It encourages it because it's become toxic. They use terms like toxic masculinity, right? And I say to myself, all of their examples of the idea of what it means to be a man now is toxic. They think, oh, this is a man, masculinity is wrong. There's something inherently wrong with being a masculine man. And to me, I always say that it was toxic masculinity that saved me. You know, I had a healthy fear of my grandfather. Nobody played around with my grandfather. We still don't play around with my grandfather, you know, and it's just, there's a certain level of respect when you're in his home. There are rules. And because I had that healthy fear, I was, I guess, more responsive to that sort of authority when I had to go out in real life. You know, I believed in structure. And yet this version of feminism today, we have women that are basically promoting men should act like women, right? And women should act like men. There's all of this confusion. You can pick your gender, you can do what you want. And ultimately what I think it's doing is feeding into this idea of a breakdown of the family. I really do believe that modern feminism
What do y'all think?
I agree with her. And, you know, I know that's probably not a popular thing, but, you know, masculinity to some people is a bad thing unless it's a woman displaying it. Like, it's super cool, you know, like, I mean, it's just like, I think we allow too many things, news, like, things to happen. Because, I mean, all right, some people, you know, there's certain things I think that has been normalized that should have never been normalized. You know, we've always had tomboys and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. But I think there's an extremist view to a lot of it. And for a man just being themselves does somewhat, you know, get looked at as, you know, not necessarily, you know, bad, but, you know, like it's not worth being respected to some extent. You know, like the argument you made earlier, like in certain areas, you know, like with the feminism, like they don't want to really give men their respect anymore because they feel like they're equal, which will never happen. It's like we'll never be equal. I don't give a damn how much money they make, how much you know, I just think that the respect that we have for each other, because I think that to some extent it happens even with men disrespecting women, but at the same time, you know, anybody that's looking for respect has to give it.
Let me read this caption right here. It says, positive things Kyrie Irving has done. Made clean water in Pakistan village, donated 200K burgers to NYC Food Bank, paid $1.5 million to WNBA players who opted out of contracts, donated $323K worth of food during the pandemic.
He's a piece of shit.
Anti-Semitic, you know, unappreciative.
Feeding the hungry asshole. Nah,
what a jerk.
Yeah, bro. Like, man, bro. But see, none of that stuff is. I mean, you know, no matter how we feel about all of this, it doesn't really matter because I mean, shoot, if they don't have enough power to fight back, like I'm not really sure. Because I mean, I hear what Deuce was saying earlier about that, but like, we're in none of those circles. Like, you know, where do we go and reprimand these people? Who? Because I mean, it's really like invisible people. Like please show me some of these people. Like you know what I'm saying? Where they at? Where we go? Where we go to find them? What's the address? What you know what I'm saying? Like
John Tate's comment on here, he says, we got too much money to be depending on anybody else.
I agree. I think that we actually can survive, but for whatever reason, because I think it's mostly the mental slavery that Kanye speaks about that, you know, keeps us running back to massa. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the same person for decades on centuries. Like, I mean, just with us, our like from our own like we don't even, if we don't even go back, you know, to other generations, just within our own generations, we have like slutted ourselves out to a lot of, and I'm saying us, you know, because I'm saying in general, but like we've really like give way more credit to them than we give ourselves. And when there's somebody who makes enough money and they're trying to rally us together, regardless if we have differences, like why can't, you know, if we really like look up to the white man, the Jew or whatever so much, why don't we do what they do? Because like they don't like everything the other one does, but they definitely come together on some shit that's gonna, you know, strengthen themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like just like what they're doing right here with Kyrie. They're like they're keeping their power going longer right now because of you know, of this display that they're doing right now, this public display of humility.
Mm-hmm. Let me play some of this.
Peace, family. It feels so good outside today in Houston. Kyrie has always been a very solid brother. And I think that we are literally seeing him being lynched just by being factual. And the difference between him and Kanye West is he wasn't trying to offend anybody. He was just trying to put the facts out there. Kanye said he was trying to offend people to provoke thought and to get attention. That's the reality. Holy shit, I'm supposed to be going to goddamn, I'm going the whole fucking wrong way. Oh my God. My man coming to see me. I don't know what I'm about to do. Listen, I'm sorry. I had to get in front of you because I got to bust this U-turn. But y'all, what they're doing to Kyrie is so deplorable. And what Black people need to start doing is really supporting the people that speak out. Because what you're watching right now is you're watching America become a communist country. And what I'm saying by that is, if you look at China, their media is completely controlled. If you say anything against their leader, they can come for you. We are creating the same dynamic here in America, 3Ks, by allowing them to masquerade around our people when they speak truth and publicly slander them and castrate them so that everyone will look at them and say, well, I can't speak about the Jews. Fuck the Jews. Fuck the Jews. Fuck these crackers. Fuck all of it. Fuck everybody who's oppressing my people. Fuck them. And they can be mad at it. But Black people, we have got to start actually moving towards protecting our people. Actually moving. When they want to pull some shit like that, we got to all say, fuck the NBA. If we all said, fuck the NBA, I bet you in 3 days' time, Kyrie would be back on the team. But we're not disciplined. I'm sorry, baby. We're not disciplined enough. We don't really give a fuck. We just want to give a fuck online. You know, I'm so sick of our people giving a fuck online. I'm going to make a post. I support. When are you actually going to put your actions towards what you're doing? How many of you guys are actually out here in the streets making your community a better place? How many of us talk to to the students and children of our communities? How many of us are actively involved in organizations? Hell, how many of y'all have volunteered the community for the better. How many? We sit on here on fucking social media, talk about this shit, post about this shit, but where are y'all in these streets? When they go see the numbers of how many black people are tuned into the NBA in the next couple days, nothing's going to change. None of the numbers are going to change because we don't give a fuck enough. We don't care enough. We're too comfortable with our oppression. We're comfortable here. Look at Shaq and Charles Barkley, these coons, speaking against the man. And why isn't Amazon getting the slack that a customer of Amazon is getting? Why are we mad at somebody for buying a product and not the people who providing the product to be bought? Listen, I just want to say this. Black people, we have got to start actually putting actions behind our words. If we say we give a fuck, we gotta show them we give a fuck. We gotta be willing not to be entertained by the NBA. We gotta be willing not to be entertained by the NFL because they consistently castrate our black men as soon as they stand up for us, as soon as they speak truth. If the truth is uncomfortable for our white oppressors, we getting castrated for it. And guess who doesn't stop watching and who doesn't stop supporting the castration of black people? Us. We won't stop supporting it. We won't stop supporting the NFL. We won't stop supporting the NBA because it's like crack. It takes me away from the reality of my oppression. I can be all Dallas Cowboys for one day. Everybody's united under Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, you and your people still being motherfucking oppressed. We got to chill the fuck out. We got to learn how to discipline ourselves. We have to stop being entertained by people who pimp us.
Exactly.
We really do. We've got to learn to stop being entertained by people that pimp us. It should be a slap in your face that it ain't nothing but niggas on the basketball court and ain't nothing but crackers that own it. It should be offensive to us. Man, these motherfuckers pimping our people. It should be offensive to us.
NFL too,
but we.
What y'all think?
She right, bro. She hit the nail on the head. That's why Pat done the dun.
Yeah.
But she preached to the choir over here because I could give a fuck less about football or basketball.
Same here. And
yeah, I don't like, watch none of that.
I wish I could be one of the regular ones that's watching it, so I could be subtracting views from it. But I already don't give a fuck about them.
You've already subtracted your view.
You know?
Yeah. I don't give a fuck. I don't watch none of that shit.
Yep. Yeah, I don't support none of that shit.
But see, the one of the things that I know, because I mean, you know, I love my people, but that's they love the distraction. Like, I mean, the NBA is a distraction. You know, NFL is a distraction. Like, that's one of those things that keep you from having to really do something with your life, because you know you got that's what you do. You can talk about everybody's capabilities and inabilities, all this, that, and the other. You know, all the ins and outs about the sports and shit. And you know what I'm saying? You don't even know your child. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even know what your kid likes, but you know about Kyrie and Bron and the stats and this, that, and the other, but you don't have no relationship. In you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it kills me, bro. Like, it really, like I said, like a lot of times I get sad. I really, like, it really frustrates me because, like I said, I know a lot of times y'all hear me talk shit about the Democratic Party, but a lot of times it's really my frustration with the people who uphold them. And you know, they're not willing to, like, they don't see the differences that we can make, because are some of the Democrats good and we should support? Maybe, you know, maybe, but for all of the energy that we've been giving them over the past few decades, and to still be in the same position as a whole, because I mean, I might be good, you know, there's a few other people who's good, but overall most of them are not. And like, that's where most of the votes go. Like 85 to 90% of the black vote goes to Democrats, and the the black voters ain't got shit.
That's a fair argument right there. I really feel like that's a wholesome, fair argument right there.
Like to me, I play chess. I'm like, okay, look, if we want, maybe like we done so much, like we done supported them so much, we need to let them see that we will change our mind and go somewhere else if you don't want to.
And they rely on it. It's a block. It's a block for them that they rely on every election.
Yeah, like to me, it's like, okay, look, either just go with the other team for right now, because I mean, obviously things ain't changing for you now anyway. But to let them see, yeah, I'll fucking change who I vote for, even the racist fucking Republicans, if you're not gonna give me what I need. You know what I'm saying? Like, you saying screw me, I need to say screw you. Like, I mean, it's just common sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Or don't vote at all. Like, I mean, don't show up. Like, don't go vote for nobody. Something. Like, you can't just keep just because, you say, oh, well, somebody died for my vote. And it's like, yeah, but I mean,
and it's like ability. It's the lesser of two evils, and it's the most important election ever, and it's
always that
the democracy
is at stake. Yeah, like right now they're saying the democracy is at stake. But yes, but who's making us get to the point where we're losing democracy? It's the freaking Democrats. If you, bro, and a whole, like, generally, because like I said, maybe there's some good ones stuck in there somewhere here or there, but we don't see nobody going like on the Democratic side that's really fighting to protect our rights, or or just the rights of the country, period. Because I mean, really, just standing up to, like, no, we're not gonna sign this bill or vote on this bill because this takes away from this, that, and the third. Like, if you change this, whatever. Like
I have to say though. Both sides is trash, because as it flips back and forth between the Republicans being in charge or the Democrats being in charge, either way, the people still get fucked.
Okay, well, and I can roll with you on that, but my whole thing is we've had 2 whole years where Democrats had the majority in every section of our government, executive branch, the legislative branch. Well, the legislative branch, maybe not the Supreme Court, but the House, the Senate, and the White House is majority Democrats, and you still failing.
And it was the same with Obama too. His first term.
Yeah, and it's always excuses about why. Like, to me, it's like, okay, it's at some point you got to realize I'm getting played. Like, these people are telling me that they're gonna do this and they want to do that, whatever. But when they got all the power to make these changes, they got the votes right there, but nothing
gets done. Nothing gets done every time, and they be having some damn excuse every damn time.
But for whatever reason, the Republicans, like, some of them to some extent is happy, or like some of them feel like they're getting something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe everybody's not happy, but they're fighting for their constituents. I don't feel that they're all. I mean, what Democrats are fighting for some people is just not us.
It's the corporations, and the Republicans are doing the same thing.
Well, I mean, just in the whole thing with the Asian, the Asian hate bill thing. Like, bro, how the hell, somebody who's been, you talking about this is supposed to be during COVID that they were harassed or whatever. Like, you can write a bill for them right away, but somebody who's been getting harassed, I mean, your TV, your news and everything is telling us that, who's getting killed by police more than, supposedly more than anybody else. Okay, if that's the case, because I mean, they still know the stats, so that's probably why they don't. But either way, you're willing to step up and get things signed for some people, but others is just like you're purposely
hands tied. My hands tied. See, I can't do nothing. My hands tied. I can't do nothing.
Yeah, you don't see the rope.
Let me play this right
I
here.
I got yokes of chains on my neck. Still, I can't, I can't do nothing. I'm like a slave down here. No, you creating slaves.
Let me play this clip right here. We was talking about the grocery stores, and I ain't never seen this before. It looks real though. Maybe it's at a Family Dollar or something. That's what it kind of looks like to me. But like the freaking frozen food is locked up, and you got to get help to.
I've never seen.
Waiting for the freezer.
You gotta ring the
Yeah,
bell.
we're all waiting for the freezer. We're all waiting to get into the freezer. I've never seen locks on a freezer.
You never seen people stealing food.
Well, that makes two of us. There you go. And now you know.
Y'all see that? That's crazy, right?
But where is this?
I don't know. This just random clip right here. Yeah, I have no idea. The captions don't help either. I mean,
that's not everywhere. I mean, that's in some place that's probably getting really bad. Like the
theft rate is high because I remember going to a Walmart. I was up there in Pennsylvania. I forget the name of the time, but it's up there right there by Philly. I was at a tank wash and I had to go to Walmart and grab some more items. Hygiene items. This is back when I was like really on the road like that. And I went to that Walmart, bro, and I went to the soap section to get body wash and shit. And the bars of soap and the body wash was locked up in a glass case. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they had that little thing, you got to press the button and it'll pay somebody. And the chick came over. I was like, this is crazy. She was like, no, it's not. We have a lot of theft. And then when she heard my accent, she was like, oh, you not from up? I'm like, nah, where I live at, this shit ain't locked up. Like, nah. It's, so different states, different stores, different locations, man. That's one of the reasons why Walmart has announced that they'll never go back to 24 hours, bro, because the money that they were losing in theft by staying open 24 hours, they were losing millions of dollars a night because they were.
But that had to be nationwide. That's not one store. That had to be nationwide.
Trying to rescue something.
Well, yeah, I mean that was nationwide, but still, I mean you think about it, like Walmart, bro, like nigga,
and that had to be the employees robbing that shit. I don't know, but
it wasn't employees, man, because I used to work at Walmart, and I can tell you, I worked on night shift. Like, and my motto is, I don't get paid enough to chase now, motherfucker, out this store with that shit. That shit don't belong to me. But I didn't see motherfuckers walk in there, bro, and put a fucking 65-inch TV in the basket and walk up front like they gonna pay and go straight out the door at night with a brand new fucking TV, bro. Trust me, Walmart would prosecute the shit out of an employee. Like, it wasn't employees robbing that shit. I can tell you that. These were motherfuckers coming in off the street, just no, you know what I'm saying? Because there ain't really no security at Walmart's at night, bro. You gotta, understaffed.
There goes your issue. If I used to work at Home Depot, and they had those people that walked around in there and looked like they were shopping. And
yeah, Walmart had the same shit. Loss prevention people. They walk around, they follow you around the store and shit. Yeah.
Those guys good at what they do.
Shit.
And they
had that shit, but they get their ass whooped too. You can't just walk up out, like, cause see with Walmart and Home Depot, it's not theft until they walk outside the store. Once they leave the store, and then you got a loss prevention dude that's in plain clothes. Hey, stop. Hey, come back here. Like, man, you fuck around, hey, look here, man. That shit ain't worth your life. Fuck that, nigga. Let the law handle that shit.
The dude got shot at my job at Home Depot. Going out there in the parking lot, and he got shot like in the foot and shit. And he ended up getting fired too. They fired him behind that
because he got shot.
Because he wasn't supposed to go outside of the store and follow the person outside of the store into the parking lot. Even though that was his job, he was a loss prevention guy.
Well, I say that shit ain't worth it, bro. That merchandise is insured, nigga. Fuck that. Fuck that. Hey, shit. Take that TV. I'm not going out there with you. My life is more
Look, they
important
got
than
they
that
got
$500-$600 TV.
Look, they got cameras. Shit. They really want you. They can get you.
And that shit is fucked up because that was the same thing that them dudes do every day. This dude is just doing his job. He fuck around, got shot, and he got fucking fired. It's fucking stupid.
That's where he learned that day. Never walk outside with a motherfucker. Hey, shit, what they used to say on them Thug Life videos? At that point, Victor knew he fucked up.
No. What's the that one that was on Chappelle? It's like when you like when you take things too far.
Oh yeah, when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Yeah, man. I fucking I wanted to talk about before I lose y'all because I know I'm gonna bore y'all a little bit, but this is
don't bore us.
This is Lula. I'm gonna just say the name of the video. Lula defeats Bolsonaro in Brazil in what many see as a victory for democracy and the earth. You hear how they're bigging that up so big? Let me read the caption. It says, leftist president candidate Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has won Brazil's runoff election, ousting far-right President Jair Bolsonaro after just one term. Lula won with 50.9% of the vote, though Bolsonaro has yet to concede. Other world leaders, including U.S. President Joe Biden, were quick to congratulate Lula on his victory in an effort to forestall efforts by Bolsonaro and his allies to deny the results. Brazilian socialist organizer Sabrina Fernandes says Lula is trying to return democratic normality after 4 years of Bolsonaro's environmental destruction, COVID denial, and undermining of the country's institutions. Lula's victory is also a win for indigenous peoples whose sovereignty was disregarded under Bolsonaro amid rampant deforestation of the Amazon rainforest, says freelance journalist Michael Fox. So what do y'all think? This is all the way from a leftist point of view, so keep that in mind. But at the same time, it's important. It's that's why I wanted to cover it, is because, like I was saying before, like the politics in other countries affect other countries or whatever, you know. And the trends and they kind of flow. So, you know, and sometimes you can see what's going to happen in our politics in other countries because we'll be going that way or whatever.
Yeah, well, I know I had a problem with the guy Bolsonaro to some extent because they talked about how he was too much like Trump, and I was like, well, okay, that don't really say a whole lot based on our news. But when you start cutting down the damn Amazon, you're cutting down our oxygen levels that we would normally have. Like that right there affected us immediately because like the oxygen levels is continue to drop because we don't have those trees, enough rain that's coming through to keep it somewhat cool. So I mean, you know, if it was important enough for the emissions and what having enough, like higher levels of oxygen, they wouldn't have done it. Like they would have found somewhere else that they were gonna grow up, they would focus on building things up or growing, not the ecosystem of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, Bolsonaro is something else. I ain't gonna lie. I've been watching a lot of that stuff. So, because really what happened was Lula was supposed to win last time, but they put him in prison for some fake corruption charges so that he couldn't run again. And that's how Bolsonaro got in there. And it's a weird ass sequence of events. It kind of sounds like apartheid South Africa story with what was his name? When he was locked up forever, Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela.
And then he got out, and then he became president. And that's kind of like what happened with Lula, but he wasn't locked up for that long, like Nelson Mandela. But what I'm saying is, it makes me think of that story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it probably makes it easier for him to win after they prove that he didn't have anything to do with whatever the crime or whatever that he was accused of. But I don't know. I mean,
that happens all the time. You lock up your political opponents. They do it in the quote unquote corrupt countries all around the world.
Yeah. Well, I hope. I mean, for the people's sake, like I like to hear protections for the indigenous. I mean, and even just regular citizens. But of course, we got to be careful because we know how these politicians get sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You would expect democracy to be pushed more by Democrats, I guess. That's what people, I guess, think. But sometimes there's the ones that's really trying to rob you. So we just got to pay attention to all of them,
Yeah. Let me play some of this.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We begin today's show in Brazil, where Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has defeated Brazil's far-right President Jair Bolsonaro, capping a remarkable political comeback for the former president and union leader. According to the official results, Lula won 50.9% of the vote to Bolsonaro's 49.1%. Lula received more than 60 million votes, the most in Brazilian history. Bolsonaro has yet to concede, sparking fears he may challenge the results, but several prominent Bolsonaro supporters have acknowledged Lula's victory. Lula, who heads the Workers' Party, served as Brazil's president from 2003 to 2010. During his time in office, he helped lift tens of millions of Brazilians out of poverty. But in 2018, as he prepared to run for office again, he was jailed on trumped-up corruption charges, paving the way for the election of Bolsonaro. On Sunday night, Lula addressed supporters in Sao Paulo.
Porque eu me considero cidadão.
I consider myself to be a candidate that has a process of reconstruction in Brazilian politics.
Na política brasileira.
Because they tried to bury me alive.
E eu estou aqui. Estou aqui para.
And I am here, and I'm here to govern the country from a very different situation. But with the help of the people, we will find a way out for this country, to return to being democratic, peaceful, for us to support parents, families, to build the world that Brazil needs.
Esta não é uma vitória minha nem do PT.
This is not my victory, nor of the Workers' Party, nor of the parties that supported me in the campaign. It's a victory of immense democratic movement that was more than the political parties of individual interests, of ideologies, for democracy to win. On this historic October 30th, the majority of Brazilians made it very clear that they want more and not less democracy, that they want more, not less social inclusion, that they want more and not less opportunity for all. They want more and not less respect and understanding among Brazilians. To summarize, they want more freedom, equality, fraternity in our country.
We go now to Sao Paulo, Brazil, where we're joined by two guests. Michael Fox, a freelance journalist, former editor of NACLA, host of the new podcast, Brazil on Fire, the podcast, a joint project of NACLA and the Real News Network. Sabrina Fernandes is a Brazilian sociologist, activist, and postdoctoral fellow at Rosa Luxemburg Stiftung. We welcome you both to Democracy Now! Sabrina, let's begin with you. Can you talk about the significance of this Lula victory with a record 60 million votes, the most in history?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Amy. It's really good to
Brazil.
be here to share this good news that Lula is back in the presidency of Brazil. It was a really tough second round. We faced fake news, a lot of intervention coming from the Bolsonaro government. But the fact that Lula made this comeback, he was in jail before, he was wrongly persecuted. In fact, the judge that was on his case ended up being minister of Bolsonaro and was with Bolsonaro, now supporting him during the election. It means that even though everything was stacked against Lula, there were a lot of people in the streets, a lot of people also engaged online, making sure that we were fighting these narratives and that we were trying to rescue something that's really important in Brazil, which is the sense that we need a little bit of democratic normality in the country. The past 4 years were very, very tough here, not just because of the way that Bolsonaro handled the pandemic, leading to almost 700,000 people killed, but also in the sense that hunger is up, the economy is going quite badly right now. So a lot of people just hoping that we can go back to something that Lula appealed to many times during the election, was talking about Brazil being happy again.
The Bolsonaro campaign tried to smear Lula as a dangerous, formerly incarcerated person. They called him a communist.
Well, that's probably just like one of those things that happen when you speak like multiple languages and you kind of use the wrong word, you know, in the moment, even though it's the right word, but it's the wrong word. You know what I'm saying? The connotations in English is going to be different.
So people who died, really, I guess you said, because of like 700,000 that I guess died of what, COVID?
Yeah.
That's a lot of people, huh?
Yeah.
Communist. He was still elected to a third term. He had served 2 terms before Bolsonaro. Can you talk about, his history?
Brazil is a big ass country, bro. It's fucking huge.
Who this new president, the former president Lula, is, and what this means not only for Brazil but for
a big ass chunk of South America
and the world.
Well, I don't say this likely, but Lula is probably the most skilled politician we have in Brazil today, both in the left and in the right. Lula came up as a union leader. He was an important leader fighting for democracy in Brazil when we were under the dictatorship as well. He was also part of he had the task of helping to build the new democratic constitution as well. And he ran for president many times before he actually got elected in 2002. When he did get elected, he served 2 mandates. He left his second mandate with very, very high popularity. The country was going well in terms of economic growth. A lot of people were back to their jobs. Inflation was under control. And he had a very important job, for example, expanding access to public education in Brazil, building many universities, and getting especially Black communities to get access to university for the first time because of structural racism in the country. But Lula is very well known for being a very respected leader in the region, not just in Latin America, but also building in terms around South-South cooperations. So a lot of the leaders around the world have already congratulated Lula for the victory. And Lula is well known for fighting hunger in this country. And because we are under a very complicated state of food insecurity.
So one of the things I wanted to point out with this is because like he really turned the country around during those times when he was president, but it was like 7 years. And it's our political system it flips back and forth between, you know, the Republicans and the Democrats or whatever. And it seems like it's shorter periods of time. So those guys don't have it, you know, that's one of the problems with our system, I think. You know, like the term limits on the Congress people needs control. But with the presidents, I don't know, because as far as you know, being able to get stuff done, because look at Russia. I was using that as an example before, you know, and there's other countries like that, and you know they talk about them, but it's stable. Well, it's not now because Russia going through what they're going through, but
it's because of other people. The reason why it's unstable is really because of us, the U.S. The reason why they're not, because they were really at a growth spurt so good that they, you know what I'm saying, beforehand, the ruble is up. Like even through war, like the ruble is worth more than what it was before pandemic. So it's I kind of get, because I mean I think people are afraid of that type of thing, because you know if you give one man too much power for too long, then things kind of change. But I guess if we can keep our basic structure, and we got somebody who's running the executive branch, that's, you know, somebody who's fair. I mean, we can get somebody that's gonna be fair with everybody. That would be, I guess, more ideal, because I mean, really, you know, like you said, I mean, if you really paid attention to what's happened over the last 12 to 16 years, it's really like people going in and change, like, you know, so the first day in office, they doing all this,
Right.
you know, executive orders to change what the last person did, because they mad about this and mad about that, and you know, this, that, and the third, and it's like personal vendetta with the last president. You know, like it's really insane, because I mean, you know,
It's nothing getting done. We're stagnant. We've
yeah,
come to a political halt.
yeah, if there is a little growth, then it comes right back, and you know, they're gonna rob the people of those things that the president did for our growth, to show that they, you know, like, just because if you really think about it, there's a lot of stuff, good stuff, that Trump did do policy wise. You know, like I said, he's not like, you know, my favorite person. I always feel like I gotta tell people that, but a lot of the things that Biden came in and started doing executive orders on the first day were things that benefited us.
Yeah. Let me play a little bit more of this right here.
In terms of isolation when it comes to climate change and the environmental struggle around the world. He really played along with Trump with climate denialism, but also trying to implement certain measures in Brazil around mining in indigenous territory, and really downplaying the role of deforestation in the Amazon in terms of an ecocide that was actually promoted in the past 4 years. The Workers' Party, on the other hand, usually tends to have a more of a developmentalist approach. Its environmental record is not absolutely clean, but there's a lot of we have made progress before. So, for example, during Lula's first terms, this is when we saw the most decrease in deforestation rates, and with Bolsonaro the highest increase in deforestation rates. And Lula has committed to promoting policies for fighting climate change in the country, and he's also very, very much committed to reducing deforestation in the Amazon to the lowest levels possible. And when we look into these two terms, we know that what's at stake here is not just a change for Brazil, but it's also a change in the planet. And the Workers' Party is well known for working with other democratic forces. It was a party that was thrown out from government in 2016 during a coup that was orchestrated with the help of...
I know it's hard to kind of understand her a little bit, I think, because of her accent, but they didn't talk about it, but I was waiting for her to get to it. I'm sure she was, but his connection to the Aboriginal people and looking out for the Black and brown peoples, like, you know, that's one of his legacies. And that's one of the things that, like, they don't like about him, you know? But he's, and those communities that he really be helping out don't, you know, they don't help him politically, if that makes any sense. Like, those communities, they aren't as politically active, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, that's not supposed to matter.
Right. So that's
So,
my
I mean,
point.
yeah, I mean, I mean, I definitely give him kudos for that, because I mean, regardless, like, if you're hired to do the work of the people, it's for the, you know, the people you like and the assholes too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, no matter who, you know, how much you dislike somebody, you're doing a job. Like, it's not supposed to be all this personal BS, and that's really what's the biggest problem that we have
Over
here.
here.
Yeah. So I mean, all these personal favors and this and that and the other. Okay, you can call that politics. I call that bullshit. Because I mean, there's so many resources. Like I mean, we could help people across the world, but look, let's make sure that we got the people here taken care of first. I mean, we got people who fought in wars for the last 40 years, for this country that's trying to retire, and all they getting less than $1,000 a month as a retirement check. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, who's supposed to live off of that? You better have you better have done some other shit to be able to retire from too, if you want to be okay. But having to fight for, because I got friends, I mean, what I'm saying, that's ex-military, and they're fine because they've done other things as well, work for the post office and this, that, and the third. But however, like the money that they get, and let's just put the money to the side. What about like them being able to go to the damn the hospital, doctors? Like, you gotta wait months just to be able to get approved for something that they shouldn't have to be waiting all that time for. It's insane.
Let me read a couple comments. It says, the Amazon rainforest plus indigenous peoples living there plus the global ecosystem. FTW. I don't know what that means. Another comment, it says, the need for increased wages and taxes to develop the sewer and water systems in Brazil is something that all people could agree to instead of agitation.
Agitation? Where's the agitation coming from? Oh, you talking about the disruption of the Amazon, the forest?
I'm not sure what they meant with that. Yeah. That was probably another thing related to like translations and shit.
Well, I mean, you got to think that that was a serious problem, because I mean, shoot, you see how the uptick in fires that took place last year, the last couple of years here in America, because like we wasn't getting enough rain. Which most of it will begin there.
We having a serious drought right now. Maybe we should talk about that, because here in the States we have a serious drought. They're talking about, which other river they talking about? The lake is drying up, all that shit.
I don't know. Shit, the Mississippi. Have you looked? Say, bro, I've been driving past the Mississippi River in different states, and I'm talking about like places that had probably 10, 15 feet of water, 20 feet of water. Like I'm seeing parts of it dry. Like I could see the floor of the river, the Mississippi River. Like, I don't. There's parts, you can go to the Colorado River that's run through Texas, and stuff that's dry, because they've been dry like that for a long time. But the Mississippi River.
Yeah, they said, I saw some posts, they were talking about the Mississippi, and they said it was an island that you could walk to that normally you wouldn't be able to.
No, yeah, I mean, there's places, bro.
That and they said that had never happened.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I keep saying the Mississippi. Like, that's the real Nile River. Like, that's the like.
And I'm saying that I think it's more to the story than climate change, because of the way they do these damn rivers with the dams and with the irrigations. They're taking water from it as it comes down before it gets to be what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying the drought is not affecting this. Is what I'm saying is
I mean,
our
activities.
I mean,
it's still a drought, but I think there is probably some man-made interruptions there somewhere. Diverting, to places that they can if they with the dams and the different systems that they have set up, yes, you can block off a lot of different areas, but I just never seen it like that in you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let me see. I got something right here. This is
The West's historic and widespread drought is forecast to continue this winter. It's already shriveled California's Shasta Lake, a critical water supply, to just 1/3 of its capacity. In tonight's Weekend Journal, Wilson Walker of CBS station KPIX reports on how the state is managing its precious reservoir.
Gotcha. With a group photo for his parting guests, Harold Jones is winding down another weekend.
Hope to see you guys again soon.
And his 29th year running the Sugarloaf Cottages on Shasta Lake.
Sure. All right. We've seen a lot of changes. We've seen the lake go up and we've seen the lake go down, and then we've seen it recover quickly. This time last year, we could walk.
But as California sinks deeper into worsening drought, there's an interesting and welcome phenomenon for those who depend on this lake for their livelihoods. Shasta is up.
It's about 30 foot higher, the lake is this year than last year. And that all has to do with the amount of control that the Bureau is taken on letting the water out, and they're holding water back. And, you know, we've all benefited from that this year.
see, I didn't even know that. I didn't even watch this, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, how did it end up him? So, are we talking about? So, like, what are they talking about? If they could control how much water is coming into this shit,
They're holding back. I mean, we know the technology. All right, if you think about Hoover Dam, bro, like how much water? I mean, how much that supply, like the circulation of the water of the rivers. I'm gonna say mostly rivers. That it supplies or that runs through that route is pretty important. I think there's another one that comes down off like the Niagara Falls, like that runs down through New York and over through Michigan, some of these lakes and stuff. Like, yeah, that's like where a lot of our stuff runs through. But
it
if
sounds
they
like
block it off,
somebody's hoarding the damn water and controlling the shit. Because he's all like, "Oh yeah, the water's higher thanks to them releasing more out of the reservoir for us." Like, what?
Yeah.
So,
you
but
heard
then it's but the name of it is historic drought threatens water reservoirs at California's Lake Shasta. And then this guy is just like, okay, the water's actually up. They gave us more water this year. What are we talking about here? I'm so confused.
No, I mean it's a confusing thing, but at the same time, I mean simply like they are hoarding the water. I mean, I'm sure that they have their choice areas that they want to, be able to send more water to, and in areas where, because I mean, you think
So
about
can we-
along the Mississippi River, there's a lot of black folks.
I'm telling you. So imagine a future where, they're saying it's climate change, but really they fucking hoarding the water. And you're gonna have people gonna fight over that shit. That sounds like war right there.
Just like everything else that we're seeing, all of it's war.
Whew. Let me play some more of this right quick.
People on the lake have certainly benefited from the Bureau of Reclamation's cautious, drought-minded management this year, but that only means things
mean?
have to be increasingly efficient downriver. That's farmers in the valley and a lot of people right here in the Bay Area for whom Shasta is an important part of the water supply.
Wait, he said so the people downriver needs to be more efficient, So this is the thing. I was reading something about this when they were talking about, because this has been going on for a long time, because between the different states and the different jurisdictions related to the water, the states that are up higher on the route of the river get more rights to the water, and then they pay these. I don't know how it works. I was reading that shit. It's complex as fuck, but basically they fight each other, the different states, for the for the rights of the water. And some of the states just be like, screw it. It comes through us first. We're gonna dam that shit up and fucking control the rest of it. Like y'all can get whatever the hell is left and shit. Everybody downstream.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what the real actual plan is, but I don't think that what they're doing over there has anything to do with the Mississippi directly.
Yeah. So let's look up the Mississippi right quick then. Three days ago, Mississippi River reached historic low.
The climate crisis is also top of mind for many voters. The Mississippi River is at historically low levels, which could impact the food supply and our wallets. Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z is in Osceola, Arkansas with more.
The mighty Mississippi River
I'm along the Mississippi River bank because it's at a historic low.
is the measly Mississippi.
Where I'm standing normally is underwater.
Within the last month, at least 5 river gauges bottoming out to the lowest levels since records began as early as the 1890s. A century-old shipwreck near Baton Rouge exposed.
Look what I just found. It's a Civil War belt buckle. That's insane.
Fossils and relics littering the now dry riverbed. Drought along the entire length of the Mississippi, with parched riverbed from Wisconsin to Tennessee. Thousands of people flocking to Tower Rock in Missouri by foot.
The historic low levels on the Mississippi River coming at the absolute worst time for farmers. The heart of harvest. See that huge pile of soybeans behind me? It was supposed to make it downriver 3 weeks ago.
The Mississippi is the main route for America's breadbasket to the world, responsible for $400 billion in industry and 1.3 million jobs.
This is the backbone of America. We move all of our products up and down this river. It's the product that feeds the world, builds the world, and powers the world.
Jonathan Dunn works for one of the nation's largest barge operators.
Normally, we would be running about 46 to 40 barges on our large horsepower boats. And now we're running 25 barges on those boats. So there is a drastic reduction.
When the price to ship goes up, the value of the goods go down.
The prices dropped pretty drastically due to increased freight on the river.
So that's got to show up in prices somewhere for
Yes,
us.
I think eventually it will. It's it's going to trickle down to everyone.
Now, there's a reason that America still uses barges to transport everything from the soybeans that you see being put in the barge behind me to corn, oil, fertilizer, you name it. We do it because this is cheaper.
One barge can hold the same amount as 16 train cars and 70 semi-trucks. And on 1 gallon of gas, the barge can move 5 times farther than a truck.
How much do we need?
We need months of normal rainfall to recharge the soil and the river systems.
And Ginger Z joins me live now from Osceola, Arkansas with more.
What do y'all think, man? That's pretty bleak right there. Then that's another excuse for inflation. Then they're gonna raise the prices and be like, "Well, look, we gotta pay for shipping."
Well, that was the part that I was thinking was going to be really the when we was first talking about the river, because I mean, being able to have those, when the water's too low for the barges and the different exchanges that come through. I mean, that's a problem. I mean, you can try to focus more on trains, I guess, but stuff that's coming from overseas, I mean, you still got to get it out of the ocean and into one of the rivers, into the ports. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know.
It's bad, man. Look at this. Look at this comment. This is a comment underneath the video. The first comment, it says, "I think an overlooked part of this issue is how so many wetlands have been developed, destroyed. These are so critical to maintaining steady and healthy water flow in our rivers, and many of them are not protected under current regulations." I think that is so true, and that is so what it is. A big part of this whole thing, because the system is sick. You know what I mean? The whole system. So that's the reason why you keep having these situations where things are failing that would normally wouldn't. And they're talking about how he said developed or destroyed the little wetlands. Like, here in Houston, we have the bios, and it's really cool how they've been building those up, and they recognize the importance of them. But you know how, like, in the edges of the bios, like this park that I go to, it has the parts of it, it kind of like says wetlands or something. It says don't cut, do not cut. And it's like, because those bushes and natural fucking trees and shit that grow there are fucking perfect for helping that, like, it's like holds the soil retention and fucking like the flow of the water. You know what I'm saying? That shit is important. So us having a disregard for that shit throughout the country in different critical areas is also having a big impact on this, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because I guess along with all of that, I'm wondering how does it? Because we're supposed to be seeing more water, from what I understand, with the melting glaciers in the in Antarctica. So that's what
Yeah.
it's.
But that's a different part of the water system, because that's into the salt water most likely, unless you're talking about like off of the mountains, because then it's off of the mountains. The mountains is the ones that tend to feed rivers,
Yeah,
but it has to have that precipitation to come down and sit on the mountains, and then as the season goes on, it melts, and that's what usually leads to a lot. Most of our rivers, a lot of our rivers are like that. Or they come out of the lakes that are northern, our northern lakes. But it's still they're fed along the way. They build up from all these little tributaries and little streams and shit that come in and keep building them, and then they become bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's like because the ground, the has created these like grooves, if you will, these like and then the shrubbery and the bushes and trees all have impact on that, where the water is going through its normal channels to go to the it's the least resistance. What did it say? Damn, I'm losing my train of thought. But anyways, that leads into those rivers. Y'all get what I'm saying? I'm losing myself.
Well, I thought some water from the ocean or the Gulf comes into that system too, but because of its flow, it kind of filters itself by
It's always
naturally somehow.
all the rivers always flow into the ocean. There'll be a backwater that happens at the point of it going into the ocean. So there's some water flowing back and forth at that point. But throughout the land, it's always fresh water that flows into the ocean. That's just how it works.
See, like the Mississippi, a major part of the Mississippi is filled coming from the Midwest, like northern Midwest, like from Minnesota all the way down. Basically, like I think parts of Canada all the way down. That's why like usually after the winter, the Mississippi is full. Like once all that snow and ice start melting from up there. I don't know if Lake Superior feeds into the Mississippi because Lake Superior up there, man, that lake is basically like an ocean front. That's how huge it is. And some of those lakes across Ohio are so fucking huge, man. You would think it's an ocean, like the whole part of the ocean. But I mean, they had pretty hot summers up there this past summer too, as well. They didn't have a lot of rain in the summertime like they normally get. So I mean, I guess as of right now, we have to see what the winter brings as far as if we're gonna have a lot of snow. How many inches of snow or foot of snow is gonna fall this year. But that shit all travels down from that way, pretty much. Because when you're traveling along parts of Minnesota, like going you know, if you go up into Minnesota and come back down to through Wisconsin, like that, you'll see that all of those ports that are actually on the Mississippi up that way, and that shit's usually pretty fucking deep. That water's usually high as fuck.
Yeah. Let me read this comment. It says, when the last tree has been cut down, the last fish caught, the last river poisoned, only then will we realize that we cannot eat money.
Okay.
It's a lot of, but then too, yeah, it's a lot of building going on, man. They're buying up all this land. They're, you know, it's a lot of building going on, a lot of marshlands. They're going in and filling that shit in and building, develop, whether it's, you know, shopping developments or, you know, it's just, it's crazy, bro, the amount of shit that they're building right now and this fucking inflation and all of this shit. Somebody's got the money. Cause it's like every corner you turn, bro, it's a brand new fucking shopping center being put in somewhere. You know, this whole commercial real estate boom right now. This shit is crazy, bro.
Yeah, so that's what's crazy though. So it's like, meanwhile, it's like the perfect storm of problems for all the regular people. You know, what the hell? And they're gonna keep on raising the prices because this is gonna affect this drought and them moving the shit through the Mississippi. What if it keeps on getting lower? What if they can't move that freight?
Yeah.
Let me read this comment. It says, I live in Minneapolis. Damn it, I can't say it.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, just blocks from the Mississippi and the historic Minnehaha Falls. I take a walk at Minnehaha Falls every day. This waterfall has been bone dry for weeks. It's not a huge tributary, but it's representative of what's happening. And unlike other tributaries, this is all urban, not being dammed or used for farming or city water systems. It's pretty wild. Okay, so that's good. I'm glad this person said that because we were talking about the dams and everything. She's saying that it happens. I'm assuming it's a she. I don't know why I'm assuming it's a she. That you know, it's happening there without no dam, without no people, no damming. Maybe this is a freaking bot though. Let me read another comment. It says, as a truck driver, I cross the Mississippi River at least 10 times a month. It's so depressing seeing it in its current state.
Yeah.
Cause Fat, you know just as well as I know, man. You going up 55, and you cut across, go across the Mississippi there in St. Louis, crossing the bridge over into Illinois. That shit's normally full as fuck, bro. I went across there a few weeks ago. That like you could see, cause normally you can't even really see the bottom of those stilts that's in that holds the bridge up. Man, I seen where the water line was way down. And that shit's usually up pretty. You can see where the water just sits around the concrete pillars that hold the bridge up. Yeah, that shit was pretty low, bro. The levels were pretty low. You could see the banks of the Mississippi going across, like even right there in Memphis, crossing from Arkansas into Memphis, Tennessee. That bridge that crossed the Mississippi, you can see the bank. Normally you can't see the banks of that shit. You can only, you know.
Yeah, I was finna say I've seen it and it looked like an ocean. That's what it looked like to me. It don't look like no damn river because you can't see the other side.
Yeah, that shit's crazy, bro.
Let me read a couple more comments. It says, there's a lot of madness and outrage over truly stupid stuff these days. But someone who grew up in the St. Louis area, this is some scary stuff. I'm an old fella. I never saw anything like this. The country has no idea how important this river is, but they're about to find out. Another comment, it says, amazing how costs trickle down, but never profits. Another comment, it says, it's amazing. I remember driving from Indianapolis, Indiana to Albuquerque, New Mexico in April of 2019, and the Mississippi has overrun its bank by 2 miles on each side. So to see it dry is incredible.
They're
really
damming that
insane.
water up, bro. They're damming that water up somewhere.
Yeah.
They pumping that shit out of there at a very fast rate, storing it somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm putting nothing past these motherfuckers.
Nothing. Emphasize nothing.
Yeah, because there's dams in places, like people think dams only exist like in the Northwest or the far Northeast. Nah, there's dams all over the fucking South. Hell, there's huge dams just right here in Texas, Austin area, along the parts of the Gulf and shit like that. So, yeah, they have ways of holding that water back.
That's what I'm saying. And I think it's some unintentional stuff and some just kind of like the state versus one other state kind of just like being ugly to each other, like being selfish and greedy.
In the 11 western states, they fight all the time, dude. They fight all the time over water out there because California is the biggest fucking hoarder of water. Like they are the biggest hoarders of water because they do a lot of, well, I mean,
Agriculture.
Let's be real. Yeah, a lot of our produce comes from California.
Yeah.
So, but
Grapes.
Still, them motherfuckers, they hoard a lot of fucking water in Cali, bro.
It's like, fuck them grapes, nigga. Shit. Y'all making wine and shit. You getting all drunk and shit. Fuck that. The rest of us need some water too. It's all corporate interest. That's really what it's about. Who's making money? So them vineyards making a whole shit ton of money. So they get to freaking have first dibs on the water. You know, they probably put their laws in place a whole bunch of years ago to make sure that they, you know, can always have their water no matter what happens.
And that's where you thinking?
We was talking about California.
Oh, in Cali. Well, I don't know. They've been going through it for so long with their droughts. Like they've been having droughts way longer than. Like, I mean, this is the second, you know, like we're in the beginning of ours. They've had the same kind of stuff going on for decades.
Well, California is kind of like, you know, it's so different climates. So it's hard to just say that. But parts of California is like the desert. You know what I mean? So like, that's the climate. That's the weather. That's what it is. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. A drought in a desert is normal conditions. That's what I'm saying. Let me read a comment. It says, as a St. Louis native, I have grown up with the muddy Mississippi. Are any agencies taking advantage of the drought to remove the various wrecks of the riverbed? Is there anything that can be done to reduce the muddy nature of the riverbed while it's sadly overexposed? I would think that this drought could be an opportunity to clean up the riverbed and maybe increase the river's clarity. This person doesn't understand how it's filled with it's a whole bunch of, you know, those tributaries deposit all of those basically nutrients and shit. It's dust and dirt carried from upstream. That's what makes it so what is the word? It's a fertilizer, you know what I'm saying, for the agriculture downstream. That's the thing about the Mississippi too. That's the reason why at the bottom of the Mississippi, once it starts getting closer to the ocean, you know, it spreads out, right? But it spreads out over a long period space, you know, because it's a big ass freaking river. So all of that is perfect prime agricultural because it's like already fertilized. Because when they talk about the Nile River, you know, you talk about the Egyptians or whatever, the whole thing was the agriculture was off of the flood of the river floods. and then it recedes. And on that part where it flooded, that's where they plant all their stuff. And they don't have to worry about fertilizers as much because the soil is refreshed. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to worry about like depleting its resource, its certain vitamins and minerals. Y'all get what I'm saying? Because it gets that soot that comes out of the river settles on the ground, and it's perfect fertilizer. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Kinda.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is the muddiness of the river is not something you want to clean up. Anyways, that's not it being dirty necessarily. That is the ground up soil that's in the water that's coming out of those tributaries and shit. So that's natural. If the water was flowing over rocks, then it would be different. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. Let me read another comment. It says, I worked 6 years on the barges, and the one trying they aren't telling you this is this. Wait. I worked 6 years on barges, and the one trying they aren't telling you is this. This is the time that barge outfits are trying to get their equipment out of the upper Mississippi. The river freezes, and there won't be any barge traffic until the spring. With lower water levels, that means the upper will shut down much sooner than normal. This is going to be a very interesting year. So he's saying that it's going to be barges that's going to get trapped up north because they're not going to be able to come down because the traffic overall has been slowed down. They said they would only let so many go through. They can only let so many go through because the water's so low. So the traffic is slower, and he's saying that it's going to be a number of barges that's going to end up getting stuck up north and ain't even going to make it. So that's going to be extra pressure on top of the, man, we're screwed, huh?
Well, I mean, I think that it could really spark up a little more work for people who, truck drivers, if we're not worrying about, even being able to get fuel. But I mean, if that's the case, I mean, shit, we might, that, like I said, it would definitely spark some. It'll give a nice little spark for me because I mean, shoot, if I gotta go to, some of the ports in the Northeast, the Midwest, or something like that, to be able to pick up loads and take it wherever. Shoot, it sounds like that could be a. But I mean, as far as the water, as far as us having, because I don't know if that's going to affect us having drinking water.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it'll affect that too.
Water levels are dangerously low in the western part of the U.S., to the point officials are warning residents to significantly scale back their water use. It's come in the form of a mega drought. It's drying up the Colorado River and draining the nation's largest man-made reservoir, Lake Mead. Here's what the general manager of Southern California's Metropolitan Water District told CBS News.
This is a crisis that we haven't seen in history.
And because of it, for the very first time ever, the Interior Department declared their first Tier 2 shortage on the river, which provides water for 40 million people in 7 states: Arizona, California, Colorado, Nevada, Wyoming, New Mexico, and Utah. For example, Arizona will lose 21% of its water, Nevada 8%. This isn't just a West Coast problem. Federal officials say every single state could be forced to pull back their water usage.
It is in our authorities to act unilaterally to protect the system.
Climate change is partially to blame. Lakes Powell and Mead are experiencing the worst drought in 1,200 years due to chronic overuse. They now just hold about a quarter of the water they used to. Fishing guides tell CBS News they can't believe how fast the water levels have dropped at Lake Powell.
I'm looking at spots that 30, 40 feet up the wall where my bait was hitting where I was fishing just a year ago.
So you're
Damn.
saying literally a year ago, this boat we're on right now would have been 30, 40
Oh,
feet
yeah.
up there?
Yep. It's absolutely crazy.
If the reservoir is dead pool, that's the term for when water stops flowing under the Glen Canyon and Hoover dams, it could cut water for millions from Phoenix to Los Angeles. That's part of what President Biden's newly signed Inflation Reduction Act hopes to do, prevent that kind of dire situation before it becomes a reality. The bill includes $373 billion to fight climate change, the largest such package in American history. 70% of water from the Colorado River is actually used for agriculture. In other words, farmers will feel these cuts the hardest. The situation is so bad, the federal government wants to pay farmers to not plant their fields. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Stephanie Officer.
Man, wait a minute. Did y'all hear? It was so vague. So it said President Biden was like $1.3 billion to fight climate change. Wait a minute, we're talking about the damn rivers and shit, so that's too vague. He's talking gonna fight climate change. How is that gonna help with the damn rivers and water? What the hell? Help me understand.
Yeah, help me understand too, because I mean, them holding up water in different places doesn't, that like it helps, because I mean, if it's hot, it's gonna, evaporate some of the waters, create rain, and things like that. But if you don't have enough water in other areas, it's just gonna make it dry up more. It's not gonna, what I'm saying. I don't know what they're doing, bro. This is,
and then they said they want the federal government. They want the federal government wants to pay farmers to not plant their fields. So what is y'all solutions? And then they said in the video, what did they say? Overusage is over years of overusage is the reason why the water was down, and whatever they were saying.
That's bullshit, man. Bro, we just had.
Hey, bro, can I ask y'all? This is totally off topic. What time do y'all have?
I got 141. Oh yeah, time about to go back, right? We get an extra hour.
Okay, so
I think it
thought,
is.
like, bro, I pulled over because I thought it was like time for me to pull over, but my cell phone is showing 140 and my e-log is showing 140. I'm like, what the fuck?
Did it already go back? It's supposed to go back at 2 a.m.
Well, it's already gone back on my cell phone and on my e-log, and that's what I have to go by, my e-log.
Yeah, it's 141 where my screen says.
Yeah, I
So
got
if it's
141 over here.
Yeah, so if it's showing, are you on Eastern time zone, Pat?
Yes, sir.
So
okay, so
but,
Pat's on
you
Eastern.
know,
So yeah, it has gone back, bro. It's already it switched at midnight.
So, but I was wondering about this because remember we talked about this in the show because they said that they
do that too, but
but they said they wasn't gonna do it, right? And I saw something in the news where they said it's held up. It got held up in legislation or some shit because they were saying that this year they wasn't gonna do the go back no more. Remember they were saying that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I remember they were saying they would that it was a debate. I don't think it was set in stone. Like they would, I guess, it was in talks of not having a, what you call, because didn't we do it in spring?
Yeah, we did. The spring
Yeah,
forward.
Yeah, I guess.
I do it in every season, nigga. I don't know what you're talking about. You a seasonal doer?
Well, no, but there was
because they was talking about it because this.
Yeah.
Because
you know I gotta fuck with Pat, bro.
Yeah, because they were saying that they was just gonna leave it alone. I saw this post on Instagram where it was like, it was supposed to be an Aboriginal person, American Aboriginal, like talking about it because they said, they were talking about daylight savings time, and the Aboriginal person said, yeah, it would take the government to take, he said, a foot off the top of a blanket, I think, and put and then put it on the bottom of it to extend it, something like that. Damn it, I'm saying it wrong, but basically saying that, you know, the daylight saving time is not changing it, like you're not making the day longer or whatever.
No, because I mean, our Earth is spinning faster right now. Like we're losing, I think, a second. Well, it might be more now, but if you Google the atomic clock, like it can tell, pretty much tell, like you're losing a second every minute.
Yeah, man. So fucking, I want to hear the end of this again, where he said we gonna put $1 billion to climate change. That's what we're gonna do about this water shortage. So like, it's
To
like
what
you
put
already
them
know
to
that money
who
gonna
you
go to
paying?
some
Who
private
who you?
contractors on some random ass shit that ain't gonna have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, who you paying the money to?
What is it doing? Like, come on, y'all need to be more specific towards climate change. Tell us you're gonna freaking fix this damn water system. Tell us you're gonna
Oh
make
my
it,
goodness.
and then their solution is to make the farmers not plant. What the hell?
Well, yeah,
Bro,
that's
but
saying.
that just goes back to what I said a little bit ago when we first started talking about that. Well, when I said it wouldn't be a surprise if they damming this water up somewhere, bro. Like they could, like the United States is very sneaky. They got technology and shit that we don't know about. They can pump water in and out of these fucking different reservoirs, these different rivers. Don't think they can't. They'll
And
sit up there and
they
lie
can
to you
divert
into,
it. They can
yeah.
divert it to different places.
Yeah, they
It's
can divert that shit. The Corps of Engineers, bro, they some smart motherfuckers, bro. They control flooding. They control a lot of shit, man. Just like they got that big ass fucking rain machine on the West Coast where they mix hydrogen and oxygen together and release that shit into the air, and they'll have fucking downpours in LA within like 3 hours from like Wyoming or somewhere, wherever the fuck it's located at. Like, this some real shit, bro. These motherfuckers trying to be God, man.
yeah.
Let
And
me
you
play.
wonder how much they use CERN.
No telling. Let me play some more of this again. Hold on.
Pool. That's the term for when water stops flowing under the Glen Canyon and Hoover dams. It could cut water for millions from Phoenix to Los Angeles. That's part of what President Biden's newly signed Inflation Reduction Act hopes to do. Prevent that kind of dire situation before it becomes a reality. The bill includes $373 billion to fight climate change, the largest such package in American history.
$370 billion.
70% of water from the Colorado River is actually used for agriculture. In other words, farmers will feel these cuts the hardest.
70% of the water is used for agriculture. So then that's where the water going.
The situation is so bad, the federal government wants to pay farmers to not plant their fields.
So what food? How are we gonna eat then? What the hell are they growing out there anyway? So it's like the system. It's like, what are we doing? Like, oh, is it sustainable? Like, we need to look at how we're growing the food, what we're growing, shit like that. Because I bet you it's a bunch of damn pine seed oil or some shit. You know what I mean? Some fucking soybean oil.
Soybean. It's not just soybean. I mean, yeah, they're growing soybean, and then it's not even good for us.
It's
Like,
not good for us. And then they grow a lot of corn. They grow a lot of fucking corn, bro.
now, I mean, we can do something with some corn though. I mean,
Yeah, but most of it is not going to food. That's the thing, and that's my point. That we're not eating all that corn. We're not eating all that soybean. We're not eating all of that other thing. They're using it for other shit. You know what I'm saying? Not food. All the other fucking, manufacturing and shit. And that's the problem.
well, they obviously not using it for no diesel fuel, cause or gas.
They use that corn a lot to make that E85 shit.
It's all kind of chemicals and the processes, all the different foods that we eat too, like the ones that come out the boxes and shit, like all of that kind of shit, like the
Corn
and
ain't good
also
for you no way, bro.
and
Your
also
body. Go
for the
ahead.
animals. A lot of it goes to the animals too for the feed for livestock, because we have so much livestock. So that's another issue. We feeding all, we're giving all our food to the damn animals and shit. What the hell we gonna eat? We're not
I
even
don't know
eat.
that.
Go
I don't
ahead.
know that many animals that eat corn, except for like maybe pigs, deer, and shit like that. But man, I ran across this video, dude, that made me. I don't know how true this is, but I ran across this dude that works at a pig farm, and they're like supposed to be these top grade pigs, and they feed them corn, and they feed them this corn so that when their body don't digest it, but when they shit it out, it comes out in the popcorn seeds, and they take it and they clean it, and that's the fucking popcorn, the Orville Redenbacher and all them people.
Man, shut the hell up.
No, I'm not bullshit, bro. I seen this shit, though. This dude was like, you'll think about eating popcorn. You look
I
at
seen a
popcorn
lot of
different.
crazy shit. They be using
Like for real, bro.
anal
'Cause if you think about,
secretions and shit.
and he
all
said
kinds of shit.
in the opening of his video, he was like, just think about you as a human. When you eat corn, you go take a shit. You shit out whole corn kernels, right? And so he was like, well, it's kind of the same thing with a
No.
pig. They eat the corn. He says it's a chemical reaction in their gut. And when they shit it out in kernels, which is the popcorn seeds. Yeah, bro. Like I'm not bullshitting you, Pat. Go look at that video, bro. You got pigs shitting out your popcorn.
And they full of shit.
It make you think about that white cheddar popcorn. I used to love that shit. And I'm like, man, I don't know, dog. That's some bullshit.
I don't think that shit is true, bro. Like, you know, it's just though, like, all right, the kernels they eat it and then turn it into fucking seed. Like, come on, bro. Like
that Pat with the logic. Let me read the caption underneath this.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, what else am I supposed to use?
Yeah, I feel it. That's why I love it though. Everybody's supposed to do that. Let me read this. It says a mega drought is drying up the Colorado River and depleting the nation's largest man-made reservoir, Lake Mead. The federal government is forcing states to cut the amount of water they can draw from it. That means other states will have to make critical decisions about how they use water. We should not get to the day where we turn the faucet and there's no water, Adil Hagakali said. Yeah.
And I think we used to do pretty good when we had those pumps in our backyard, had our own fresh water.
Yeah, the wells.
Yeah.
Because you can't only pull so much water from those wells. Well, then you had people digging multiple wells and shit. So it was problems with that system too. Whatever way, it has to be regulated. It has to be fair. And you have to think that nobody owns the water. It's for everybody. That's what we have to think. That's the problem. We don't think like that. We have to own everything. We have this ownership as society or ownership world where it's like, this is my water. It's coming out of over here by me, so it's mine. And the damn water done flowed from 1,000 miles away, bro.
Well, all right. All right. You can try to keep being fair and shit all you want. You're gonna be the motherfucker with nothing, with no water. So you know, look, here go a glass, but you know.
Let me read a couple comments. It says, these rules only apply to poor people. Rich people can water their yards till the cows come home. Let me read another comment. It says, yes, the way of humans doing everything last minute when it could have been prevented years ago. Shit, we may not even do it now. We don't even do it last minute. We still gonna not do it. How much you would have bet that $341 billion goes to some private contractors to fucking, I don't know, do somebody's garden?
To test it.
Yeah, you talk about like the private contractors that they sent all those billions of dollars to in Ukraine, that the money never reached Ukraine.
Because it always happens like that. If as long as it's those government programs, I mean, that's just the way it works every time. But it looks legal on paper. It looks okay on paper. It's just that when you go and actually look at the situation and see what's actually happening, then you're gonna see that most of the money is just going to their buddies, literally their buddies, or their own ass companies too. It could be their own ass companies from the government people. You know what I'm saying? Family members, companies, shit like that. It's fucking corruption. Let me read another comment. It says, telling farmers not to plant seems like a solid way to go. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. It says, telling farmers not to plant seems like a solid way to get a food shortage, too. So that's what I'm saying. So, but I think that, like I said, I think that a lot of that is probably not even that much fucking food that we actually eat that they're fucking growing out there. I bet you most of it is for pine oil and shit like that.
Probably.
Vegetable oil and shit. We're not even gonna eat. And they stealing 70% of the water from the damn river. Let me read another comment. It says, I save as much water as I can by being diligent at home, but it makes no difference when corporations waste millions of gallons every day. And that's what I be saying. Like, they want to tell us, like, you need to watch your shower. You taking too long in the shower and shit. You know? But meanwhile, and it's like the food too. It's like all the food at these grocery stores or restaurants. I work in a restaurant. We throw away a shit ton of fucking food. A whole bunch of food.
Why throw that? Why they just don't like? Well, I guess I don't know. I don't understand why they throw this shit away. I know because when I worked at fast food restaurants in high school, we would throw, like, I worked at Wendy's, bro. We would throw away so much food at night. And like, if one of the employees wanted to take it, the manager would be like, well, I have to charge you for it. And I'm like, why y'all throwing this shit away? Well, because it's a liability, so we have to charge you for it. And I'm like, instead of throwing these hamburger patties away that nobody bought, how about we not, bag this shit up, or put it in pans or something and send it to like a homeless shelter where they can feed people, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So our system is set up to not be like that. Like I worked at Home Depot, they even throw away electronics and shit for space.
Yeah.
Our system is so wasteful. That's why we don't have no water and we're so greedy. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna wrap it. It's almost 2 a.m. Fucking, I need to do some homework before I go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm wrapped already.
Yeah, man. So what's been up with you dudes? You driving tonight?
Yeah, I'm rolling tonight. Man. Shit, I've just been going back and forth dealing with my mom and shit, bro. I think I've gotten to a point where I'm washing my hands of that situation. So yeah, been dealing with that shit, and yeah, bro, I've been fucking exhausted, dude. Like I've been exhausted, and then so I told you I've been working out. Been working out with a trainer and going to the gym and stuff. So I've been having to like lay down super early, doing fasting and stuff like that because I've been going back and forth to the doctor, making sure everything is good, making sure everything is good for me to be working out, doing these strenuous workouts and stuff. And
That's good, man.
Yeah,
yeah,
you've been doing the shit. The damn, it escaped me just that fast. But that's fine. I guess I'm out of here, man. I'm beat.
All right, man. Get you some rest, bro.
All right, y'all. I'll holler at y'all next time.
All right, man.
All right,
man. Y'all have a good one, bro.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
What
been
you was
dealing
saying,
with
dude?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was saying I was been getting all my stuff in order. Like I say, I went and got a 6-month Wellman checkup, got all my vitals, all that stuff, levels, and making sure that because once you start introducing those kind of strenuous workouts, your body, you haven't done that, and you've been out of shape. Your body can't take that, so.
Yeah.
So getting all those type of, blood work done where they're checking different things, making sure I'm good. So yeah, so I've been doing that, and like I said, I've been having to lay down pretty early, so because those type of doctor's appointments where they draw the blood and do the stress tests and stuff, those are done usually early in the morning.
Yeah. And you
Because
usually have to fast and
yeah,
all of that. Yeah.
all that shit. So yeah, I've been laying down, like going to bed. Then I've been beat anyway, bro. Like it's been fucking stressful. When I'm not at work, I go home. It's stressful because both of the kids are in extracurricular. My son plays year-round baseball. My daughter, was in volleyball. That finished. Now she's doing basketball. So we just fucking busy as fuck, dude. And I'm just exhausted, bro. Like not really getting no rest. So I just been trying to rest.
That's good, man. That's real good, man. Shit. I haven't done any workouts in at least a week now. I keep missing it.
Yeah,
Get back
I
on it.
feel you. I be wanting to say skip my little sessions and shit, but I keep going, man. I make time and go and shit like that. So it's been helpful, bro. Like I'm no longer in the 4s. I'm down to 382. So my goal is to get down to like 230.
So how do you
So
feel though?
I feel good, bro. Even though I haven't really got any rest, like haven't been resting properly and shit. But I think because I'm active and I'm working out and heart rate up, blood flow, oxygen levels are a lot better. Watching what I eat, doing a little bit better. Like I don't feel exhausted. I don't feel like I'm beat. Like I'm just gonna pass the fuck out somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel good, man. I feel energized. All of those things, like for real.
So what about the diet? So what have you been doing as far as eating different?
High protein vegetables. Trying to cut back from the sodium. Just basically meat, vegetables, rice. Low carb. High. Your body needs carbs, so you can't just cut carbs out. You'll fuck your body up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, just I don't eat out. Especially when I'm out here on the road, I bring food with me. So my wife meal preps my food and stuff like that for me, and I bring it out here. So just trying to stay away from all of this bad processed shit, bro. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I've been doing, man. So high protein, low sodium, low carb eating, which is not bad. Not bad. away from the salt. My biggest issue, bro, is staying away from the drink. You know, because when I come home, I want to have me a few drinks. You know,
Yeah.
and so like I
Yeah,
gotta let the alcohol go too, because alcohol makes your body retain water.
yeah. And it's a lot of calories in that too.
Yep.
A whole bunch of sugar.
Yeah. I thought I was doing good by drinking vodka and tequila only, but yeah, it's still not good for you. It's better than drinking whiskey or cognac or something, but it's still not that healthy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Man,
But yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
been
wrap
really
it.
it, bro. Dealing with that shit, bro. So I feel you, man. I understand. I know you tired. Shit, I know.
Shit, was
Full
it
time
anything?
school,
Did you
full
see?
time.
Did you see any of the videos that I sent this week, or any stuff?
Man, I started the it was the one that you sent about, they were talking about the truth about behind Kanye West.
Oh
Like I
yeah,
started that one. Yeah. What else? It was it was another one that I kind of started a little bit and glanced at. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to open all of them up and go through them, to be
yeah,
honest with you.
yeah. We talked about Kanye West a lot, and we talked about Kyrie Irving a lot.
Yeah. I don't even know the whole. I gotta go back and look at that shit, bro. I've been so out of pocket. Like, for real, dude. Like, I've been out of pocket on all that shit.
Yeah, it's like, Kanye said some stuff. Like, Kanye be all over the place. I think he have a hard time articulating himself. And like I think sometimes he makes good points and sometimes he's just trying to troll people. I think overall he's just be trying to troll. But he kind of got in trouble for some comments he made. And then it seems like they just kind of threw Kyrie in the damn mix with some random ass tweet that Kyrie did.
Yeah.
And it's all like supposed to be anti-Semitic, against Jewish people and all of this. They've been taking people's videos down on the internet. Like all the videos of Kanye was taken down, pretty much.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy, bro. Like, how can these people be so fucking powerful, bro? And I don't understand why America allows them. Like, it's like America. It's like, I don't know. Maybe because they personally did do something to these people. I don't know.
Like they feel guilty.
They feel guilty and they just fucking. They literally bow before Jews, man. Like, I don't know. Shit's crazy to me.
Yep. All right, man. I'm gonna wrap it. Peace and love. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for listening. We'll be back next week.
Yeah, hit me up, man. Shit, I gotta I need to call Leafa and Mama and them and check on them.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard from them in forever.
Yeah, they called me and told me what I have to make for Thanksgiving. Like they didn't already decided what I'm cooking and shit.
Oh shit, yeah. I'll be on the road for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll be on the road. Which this Thanksgiving is kind of screwed up because I'll be on the road, and then my son has tournaments the whole Thanksgiving weekend. So like the whole Thanksgiving week. So like we're not even really. So it's like my wife is like, shit. If you were at home, we still wouldn't be having like a normal Thanksgiving because we'll be at the baseball field. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool though. Those are good problems to have, I would say, related to that.
Oh yeah. Want to support them, man. Be there every step of the way, bro. So
yeah.
I'm grateful. But yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get up with y'all, bro, and check in with everybody, see how everybody doing.
Yeah. Shit. If you have time, check out some of the I posted a whole bunch of stuff. Check it out on YouTube. I posted most of the stuff on YouTube this time, like little clips from the other videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get my ass on there.
Yeah, check it out. Peace and love, y'all. Everybody get y'all some rest.